In a row, we find ourselves here in Philadelphia. It's the Braves and Phillies from Citizens Bank Park here in Philly, the 142nd consecutive sellout in this great town where they love their Phillies and all the success that the Phillies have had in recent years. Welcome to ESPN's Sunday Night Baseball, presented by Taco Bell. Hi, everybody. Dan Schulman with you here in Philadelphia. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out of the audience tonight. The Braves and the Phillies, division rivals, two teams expected to contend for the division, for the postseason in the National League East this year. And it's been a very interesting series already with a couple of shutouts which have been thrown so far in this series. On Friday night, Cliff Lee with a career-high 16 strikeouts, but he gives up 3 runs in the third inning. Derek Lowe perfect through 6 before leaving with a blister in the 7th. 2 men on. Eric O'Flaherty strikes out the side in the 7th inning, and the Braves go on to win by a score of 5-0. Yesterday, Kyle Kendrick steps into the rotation. A spot start, goes 5 shutout innings for the Phillies. Ryan Howard hits a home run, his 7th of the season, and 4 Phillies relievers do the job the rest of the way. Ryan Madsen picks up his 3rd save of the season, and the Phillies win 3-0. Joined as always by Bobby Valentine and Orel Hershiser. Orel, let's start with you. Let's start with pitching. It's the year of the pitcher again, and Cole Hamels pitching as well as he did back in 2008, coming off a great performance on Tuesday.
In 2008, he was probably a 2-pitch pitcher. There was the fastball, there was the changeup, and then there was the breaking ball. But now he has the cutter. His last outing against Washington was absolutely fantastic. His changeup hovered around 82 miles an hour. It was very hard to get airborne, but I'll tell you, he was locked in. 23 out of 26 for strikes. But add the cutter a la Cliff Lee, and he was on. Now it gives him 2 weapons. He's got the left side of the plate with the changeup and the fastball, and the right side of the plate with the cutter.
For the Atlanta Braves, it's going to be a tough challenge tonight, but they've got a guy 39 years of age, a guy who I imagine might have kept you up a night or two back in the day when you were the Mets manager. Chipper Jones is still going strong, Bobby.
He's still going strong. He was the #1 draft in the country in 1990, a rookie in 95, an MVP in 99. He won a batting title in 2008 where he hit 364. Mickey Mantle hits 365 to win a batting title. Chipper's 1 point lower than him, the immortal Mickey Mantle. Chipper, from both sides of the plate, has excelled his entire career. He's only behind Eddie Murray in switch hitters for RBIs, and he's still leading his team to what might be another division title and possible World Series entry to Atlanta Braves.
Better than 400 home runs, better than 1,500 RBIs, better than 2,500 hits for Chipper Jones, one of the best switch hitters in baseball history. Let's go down to the field level now with the Buster Olney.
Chipper, it's Mother's Day, but you put in a call to your father in the last 24 hours. Tell me about that.
Yeah, I was struggling with my left-handed swing. No better guy to call than the guy who knows your swing the best. Gave me a few tips. Went in the cage this morning, got things ironed out. Hopefully things will turn around from left side.
Now you'll be batting right-handed against Cole Hamels tonight. What's that challenge?
Well, it's tough. He used to be just fastball changeup. Now he's developed a really good cutter, I'm sure, under the influence of Roy Halladay. He's really expanded his repertoire over the last couple of years, but I think we all know if he gets in trouble and needs to make a pitch, he's going to the changeup.
Chipper, thanks. Wendy?
Buster, thank you very much. I'm here with Shane Victorino. Shane, obviously this team is playing well, winning ball games, but what does this offense need to do to be more consistent?
I think just stick with it. I think, we've all know what we got to do. Obviously we want to go out and be the best offense we can be, but, I think it's just taking it one game at a time, just staying focused and just plugging along and, count on the pitching that we do have and try to score as many runs as we can.
What do you expect from Jair Jurgens?
He's got a great fastball, very good changeup. So, I expect him to, mix the speeds up and try to keep us off balance. But, you know what, just try to get a good pitch hit.
Shane, thank you. Dan?
Wendy, thank you. Also coming up on the show tonight, we'll handicap the contenders and what's looking like a very interesting National League East division this year. Also, baseball tonight, the gang will take us around the majors for a look at some of the big moments from another busy Sunday in the major leagues. And live K-Zone will check in during the at-bats of Ryan Howard and Chipper Jones. It's the rubber match of a 3-game series between the Braves and Phillies. Cole Hamels will throw the first pitch of the game when we come back.
what the Phillies mean. Tough, big time baseball.
And what a love affair has developed here in this town between the baseball team and the fans. 8 consecutive winning seasons, 4 consecutive trips to the playoffs, and of course a World Series back in 2008 will do that for you here. This can be a tough town, but boy, they love their Phillies right now. Welcome back to Sunday Night Baseball, presented by Taco Bell, live from Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia. The third and final game of this series between two pretty good teams, the Atlanta Braves and the Philadelphia Phillies. All game long tonight. You can follow Buster Olney and Wendy Nix on Twitter. Also, like us on Facebook at facebook.com/ESPN Baseball Tonight. The first-year manager of the Atlanta Braves, the very affable and amiable Freddie Gonzalez, with whom we had a nice visit before the game. Of course, a former coach with Atlanta, former manager of the Florida Marlins. Let's take a look now with the starting lineup that Mr. Gonzalez will send out there tonight, presented by Taco Bell. Martin Prado leads it off. Jason Hayward up at the 2 spot. Chipper Jones hitting third. Brian McCann, one of the best offensive catchers really maybe ever if he keeps going like he's going. Dan Uggla hitting 5th. Rookie Freddie Freeman batting 6th. Alex Gonzalez, the shortstop, hitting 7th. Nate McLouth hitting well since he dropped down to the 8th spot, and Jair Jurgens is the pitcher and batting 9th. And they will face a Guy Orel who is at the peak of his game, it looks like right now.
A 4-pitch pitcher that can throw his fastball, his changeup, his cutter, and his curveball. But the innings, he has become an innings eater. And you talk about Roy Halladay, you talk about Cliff Lee, but Cole Hamels, over his last 5 starts, look at the innings he's eating up and resting the bullpen.
Mother's Day, the theme here in this ballpark and so many major league parks around baseball today, as we are ready for the Sunday night game from Philadelphia.
Outside.
And outside ball 1, says Wally Bell, the home plate umpire, as we are underway on a very nice night, a mild night, some cloud cover overhead, no immediate threat of rain as far as we know. Martin Prado, the left fielder for Atlanta, is the leadoff hitter, and he'll foul it off out of play off to the right. The count is a ball and a strike. 142nd consecutive sellout at this beautiful ballpark. Seats better than 45,000. The Phillies with a record of 22-10 thus far this season. As Hamels gets a strike with the knees, and Martin Prado does not like the call. Prado was one of the many hitters you may have seen today or will see tonight using a pink bat. Again, this is an MLB initiative trying to raise funds for and awareness of breast cancer research, and the pink bat comes through with a base hit for Prado. A check of the defense now for the Phillies, a team that has committed fewer errors than any other team in baseball so far this season. Left to right of the outfield, Raul Ibanez, Shane Victorino, a 3-time Gold Glover, Ben Francisco in right. On the left side of the infield, Placido Polanco and Jimmy Rollins. Wilson Valdez at second base tonight, Ryan Howard at first, and Dane Sardina is the catcher for Cole Hamels. Carlos Ruiz just went on the disabled list today because of some persistent lower back trouble.
There's a move to first base, Dan. Looking at a guy who might steal, they have 6 stolen bases the entire year.
By far the lowest total in baseball. And a terrible percentage as well. They've been caught 10 times. At this pace, the 2011 Braves would go down as one of the worst base stealing teams in baseball history.
And the guy at the plate leads the team with 2.
That may be an insurmountable lead. Jason Hayward, the batter, hitting .231. For such an outstanding rookie season in spite of a thumb injury a year ago for Hayward. Started off this year in the 6th spot, now has moved back to the 2 spot, where he spent most of his time last year. Freddie Gonzalez told us before the game the league has made adjustments to him. Now he's in the process of readjusting. And that's what it's all about, right, Bobby? It's a constantly, no matter how old you are, you're still making adjustments, right?
You make adjustments. You don't necessarily change, but you adjust to how the pitchers are approaching you, maybe more aggressive or less aggressive in different counts.
2-2. Well, Hamels, meanwhile, on the mound, has had an outstanding start to the year. 4-1, a .266 ERA. He's given up only 2 hits in the first inning this year, and one of them was the one that Prado just got. And Hamels has yet to give up a run in the first inning of any of his first 6 starts. Did it get him? And spinning out of the way, didn't miss him by much. The count is now full on Hayward.
Looks like the 2-seamer down and in. It almost looks like it catches him on the uniform, but no, just a double clank with the glove.
Let's see if Prado's on the move. There he goes. 3-2 pitch, bounced foul.
Well, with a jump like that, Prado's not going to improve the base stealing percentage. he was really resting on Jason Hayward to make contact on that ball. It's called a run and hit rather than a hit and run. He's running and hoping the hitter's going to make contact.
He goes again, and it's bounced foul again.
Well, interesting lineup the Braves are throwing at Cole Hamels with 4 left-handed hitters in it.
Yep, left-handers are hitting .242 off Cole Hamels, and right-handers are hitting .202. So Freddie Gonzalez with Chipper Jones being the switch hitter there, and Brian McCann behind him left-handed, mixing the lineup up, which will take Cole Hamels' release point, making throw strikes to both sides of the plate.
And a swing and a miss, throw down to second, the tag on Prado, double play.
The lefties might be hitting .242, but here is a strikeout for Cole Hamels. Keeps the ball down, does not throw a strike here. Maybe it makes it appear like a strike out of his hand. Jason Hayward chases the ball. And a nice snap throw down to second base. An easy duck to shoot right there with a bad jump coming off of first base.
Now Chipper Jones. So quickly after it looked like the Braves might have something going, a strike him out, throw him out, double play, 2 outs, nobody on for 39-year-old Chipper Jones, a guy who looked like he might retire after the knee injury suffered last year. But he came back, had a great spring, has stayed healthy, says he's having a ton of fun hitting third. And as Freddie Gonzalez told us before the game, he is still a presence in that lineup.
Likes being around the young guys. Chipper says it's keeping him young. Looked like he had a little bit of a mohawk in the clubhouse today, too. Looking young, feeling young, playing like a youngster.
Hitting .281. He's got 24 RBIs. Dan Douglas sporting a little bit of a mohawk as well. A new member of the Braves this year. Pulled down to third. Polanco inning over. Hamels gets out of it. Phillies coming up when we come back for the bottom of the first. Presented by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. And in part by the G Series. Prime, perform, recover. No scores. We go to the bottom of the first on a nice night here in Philadelphia. Sunday Night Baseball. And a look at the starting lineup now for the Philadelphia Phillies, brought to you by Taco Bell. Jimmy Rollins, as of Tuesday, back up to the leadoff spot. Victorino now hitting second. Placido Polanco now the number 3 hitter. All these changes made just a few days ago. Of course, Ryan Howard hits cleanup. Ben Francisco 5th. Raul Ibanez at left field batting 6th. Wilson Valdez at second base batting 7th tonight. Dane Sardina does the catching. And Cole Hamels, who's a very good hitter, by the way, for a pitcher, is on the mound against a pretty tough customer, Orel and Jair Jurgens.
Jair has battled injuries, especially last year, but when healthy like he is now, missed the start at the beginning of this year with an oblique. But I'll tell you what, innings per start, when he's healthy, he goes deep into the game.
Here's Jimmy Rollins to lead it off for the Phillies. And the shortstop will take it low, ball 1. Rollins, Victorino, Polanco. 5-0 win for Atlanta on Friday night. A 3-0 win for the Phillies last night. Ball 2. And Jurgens, like he wasn't really happy with his landing spot after that last pitch, and he's going to do just a little bit of groundskeeping out in front of the rubber. You can see that Rollins has been thriving since moving back to his customary leadoff spot. Again, without Chase Utley, they've got to make some accommodations in this lineup. Right now, Polanco hitting 3rd. There's a strike. And Charlie Manuel, I think it was you, Bobby, who asked him before the game, if you could do one thing to improve this team offensively, what would you do? And he said, get Utley back.
Amen.
And there's a little light at the end of the tunnel, actually, on that front. Utley played in an extended spring game yesterday where you can hit every inning. He went 5 for 7 with a couple of home runs, also had an infield hit, so you got a chance to work out that knee a little bit. There's still no timetable, but at least Utley is getting a little bit more active for the Phillies. Full count.
Jimmy Rollins stands very close to the plate with his hands hanging over the inside corner of the plate. Very difficult to throw strikes to a guy like that.
Pulled down to first, juggled by Freddie Freeman to the bag himself for out number 1. So 1 down here in the bottom of the first. You know, one thing I think the Atlanta Braves would like people to know, we've all talked about it. We all know all the big names and the great pitchers that the Phillies have in their rotation. You know who's got the best rotation ERA in the National League? Is Shane Victorino steps in now for the Phils. It's the Atlanta Braves. They have an outstanding pitching staff. Victorino lines the ball, well hit, deep right center. He's thinking 3 out of the box. The flying Hawaiian will pull up at second and be content with a 1-out double.
You talk about hitting that first pitch fastball. He gets a first pitch fastball right out over the plate, drives it in the right center field. And he can fly, this flying Hawaiian. And he's thinking 3 right out of the box. He takes a good turnaround first. For some reason, he holds up coming into second base. I think it's a bang-bang play at third base and one that you can chance this early in the game.
So a runner at second with a 1-out. The crowd buzzing here in the bottom of the first. And the batter is Placido Polanco. You like this guy in the number 3 spot?
I like him anywhere in the order. I think he's one of the best hitters in baseball. There's been 5 times all year long that he's struck out, and he's put the ball in play, either fair or foul. 93% of the times he swings the bat. He's a terrific young hitter.
Well, 1 out, right-handed batter, and a guy with great speed at second. If you're going to steal third, this is the situation, right?
You really have to pay attention to Shane Victorino. If he's not stealing, he's going to try and be a distraction out there. He's going to go for the big lead, even if it's a one-way lead in his mind and he's not stealing. He's going to do something to distract Jurgens.
Close, but back in safely is Victorino. He and Ugler were kind of joking with each other just prior to that pitch, and then all of a sudden it got serious when a throw wound up at second base.
Sometimes that's the deke that the infielder will put on. Talk to the runner. Hey, how you doing? Nice job. How's mom? Pick off.
Again, right center. And back to make the catch is McLeod. Victorino is going to tag, and he'll make it easily into third with 2 down. So that'll bring up Ryan Howard now. Victorino with third and 2 outs. Howard with 7 home runs, hit his 7th yesterday. Second in the National League in RBIs with 30. Only Lance Berkman of the Cardinals has more. And another one of the many players using the pink bat again in support of the Mother's Day initiative to raise money towards breast cancer research. Just inside of the knees for ball 1. Take a look at live K-Zone as this at bat continues.
Yeah, Chipper's way off the bag, and the runner at third can get a big lead. Any balls in the dirt, you'll see him trying to score, even with the 4th place hitter up.
So why wouldn't Victorino go 10 feet further than he is going, with Chipper being that far off the bag?
Well, with 2 outs, there's really no reason to be that far. Any ball in the dirt that bounces away, the 70 feet that he has to run after he takes a secondary lead, he'll get there.
Grounder to first, Freeman up with it. And the Phillies will leave Victorino on at third base. No score at the end of 1 here in Philly. Happy Mother's Day. Top of the second inning, no score between the Phillies and the Braves. And Cole Hamels facing Brian McCann, the outstanding catcher for the Atlanta Braves. As Bobby mentioned, 4 left-handed batters in the lineup for Atlanta. That's way more than Hamels usually sees, but lefties, as you guys mentioned, have hit Hamels better than righties. Maybe taking away the changeup is a bit of a weapon for Hamels against the left-handed batters. All those we saw there, or he'll throw it down and into a left-handed batter.
It's a pitch that his role model, Tom Glavine, started to bring into the big leagues. Changeups inside the lefties. Tom was not a big fan of his curveball, and neither is Cole.
Got it. He goes to that curveball, which is really his 4th pitch. He hardly ever uses it, but against the lefties, he adds it as a bit of a weapon.
That's one way to build your fan base. He's a fan of that curveball right now. Fastball up and in. Changeup down and in. And now the big curveball. And the reason he hasn't been a big fan of it is just because of the command and consistency of it. Fastball, the cutter, and the changeup now are the most consistent pitches. And the curveball when he needs it.
There's Dan Uggla now, the Atlanta second baseman. Fastball right on the outside corner for a strike. Uggla has seen a lot of Hamels. He's probably seen too much of Hamels for his liking. Of course, Uggla spending his career with Florida prior to this season, so still in the same division as the Phillies, seeing Hamels a lot.
And still trying to find himself in a new uniform in a new town, new responsibilities, struggling with the bat. But Dan's a good hitter, and he's one of those guys that Larry Parrish, the hitting instructor, said he might put you to sleep for a little while, but when he wakes you up, it's with a loud sound.
Just missed inside. There's the cutter. And again, the evolution of Cole Hamels over the last couple of years, bringing in that cutter a lot against right-handed batters.
Early in his career, Dan, he was 2 pitches, fastball, changeup with a little occasional curve. Now the cutter is a main staple.
Lunging for it, Uggla hits it to left center, 2 down. Major League Baseball is conducting a campaign against breast cancer. The annual league-wide program, always held on Mother's Day, raises awareness about breast cancer research, also raises funds to support the fight against the disease. We've seen the wristbands, the bats, the shoes, the bases, so many things around the ballpark reminding us of what Major League Baseball is doing today. In addition to the campaign, MLB is donating $50,000 in support of the fight against breast cancer here on Mother's Day.
And Dan, I'd like to say happy Mother's Day to my mom at home, Millie Hershiser in Vero Beach, and she's fighting cancer also, but it's ovarian. Wishing Mom the best.
And a hello to my mom, Ellie, who's, I think, watching at home up in Toronto. My wife, Sarah, as well. There's the pink shoes that we've seen a lot of the players wearing.
My mom's probably watching this from the heavens above, but the mother of my son is probably watching. Happy Mother's Day, Mom.
There's a liner into right field, a base hit for Freeman. A 2-out single for Freddie Freeman here in the top of the second in the scoreless game. Want to bring up Alex Gonzalez. Freeman, a guy that the Braves have very high hopes for. Terrific defensively, and they think a lot of upside offensively. Speaking of terrific defensively, boy, go into the Braves clubhouse and ask them about the shortstop. They've got nothing but good things to say about the job that Alex Gonzalez is doing.
You know, Bobby, we talked about the Braves being a little bit more of a contact staff, and that they are really going to need that glove man at short, and they've got one this year.
They have a very good shortstop who has great range, and as Freddie Gonzalez said oral before the game, he's made Dan Uggla better, and he's really relaxed Chipper at third. He's a stabilizing force in the infield along with Freddie Freeman at first.
Down and in with the cutter there. Atlanta got Gonzalez in a trade midway through last season with Toronto, where they sent a younger shortstop, Yunel Escobar, up to Toronto. Escobar, a world of talent, but not nearly as consistent a player as Gonzalez is. So the Blue Jays made a trade more for the future. The Braves made a trade more for the present. And it seems like both teams are happy with the deal. There's a high fly ball golfed down the left field line, carrying and gone. A 2-run shot for Alex Gonzalez, and the Braves have the lead. For Gonzalez, his 5th home run of the season, 2-0 Atlanta.
A couple different things you try and do as a pitcher. You try and get the ball off the barrel of the bat with movement, and you try and get the hitter out front with a changeup like that, but just not enough out front. 85 miles an hour. The ball just not quite slow enough to avoid the barrel of the bat. Gonzalez did a great job staying on that ball.
And Earl, when we were mentioning or talking with Cliff Lee before the game, he said that's the zone he wants to stay away from.
If you're throwing your changeup or your cutter down and into a righty, or even down and over the middle of the plate, you really want to watch out for the fact that they can extend and still drop the head of the bat on the ball.
It's the 3rd home run given up by Cole Hamels this season in 42 innings. Two and 1 the count on Nate McLouth. There's a strike, 2-2. McLouth, the center fielder for the Atlanta Braves, former Pirate. The guy who is 0 for his last 10, as you can see, was hitting very well when they moved him down to the 8th spot in the lineup. As Freddy Gonzalez juggled the order, moved Jason Hayward up from 6th to 2nd. Look at that breaking ball. Well, he's thrown 2 great curveballs to left-handed batters this inning, but one of the righties, Alex Gonzalez, got him with a 2-run homer, and the Braves have the early lead.
Thank you, Mom, for everything, for always being there, always picking me up when I had down times, bad moments or whatnot, always supporting me, and, you know, being my biggest fan. Thank you, and I love you.
And every year the Phillies invite one of the players' moms out to the field for a ceremony before the game, and this year it is Cheryl Howard, Ryan's mom. Can you imagine, can a mom have a better day? Can she be a prouder mom than being able to celebrate Mother's Day with her son here at the ballpark, go out on the field before the game, get a bouquet of roses, and then watch the ball game? Pretty good day for mom. Here's Ben Francisco to lead off the bottom of the second. 2-0 Atlanta on the home run by Alex Gonzalez. Francisco, Raul Ibanez, and Wilson Valdez here in the second for the Phils. And The strike from Jurgens. Francisco getting the bulk of the playing time in right field, the spot that Jason Worth occupied for the last few years for the Phillies. Of course, he's now a Washington National. Francisco hitting .239, 4 homers, 18 RBIs. Jurgens making his 5th start of the season. He missed some time early with an oblique strain, but 4 terrific starts since he got healthy. An assortment of injuries again last year that really cut into his ability to do what he did 2 years ago when he won 14 games and had a sparkling ERA of .260. As we mentioned earlier, part of the rotation with the best ERA in the National League, better than even the Phillies starting rotation. Pulled foul, full count.
Dan, as he has come back from the different injuries, Jurgens has really had to concentrate on being a pitcher. Before he got hurt, he was 93 to 95 miles an hour. Now it's about location. Tom Glavine, who works for the Braves, talked to him a little bit about that in spring training, really helped him square that away. He really concentrated on thinking about hitting his spots and not worrying about velocity. And if there's anybody in the game that is going to go in the Hall of Fame, Tom Glavine, he was a guy that believed in hitting your spots and changing speeds, and that's what he really tried to talk to Jurgens about.
Struggled before he went on the DL, pitched better after he got healthier last year. In the hole at short, Gonzalez with the long throw on the money to Freeman. What a play to get Francisco. Well, we told you they rave about him in the Atlanta clubhouse, and you can see why. Well, there's Dave Wallace. He is the acting pitching coach for the Atlanta Braves right now. As many baseball fans know, Roger McDowell, the pitching coach, suspended for a couple of weeks for his inappropriate comments and conduct toward fans in San Francisco a couple of weeks back now. As Raul Ibanez steps in for the Phillies. And he bounces one foul. Wallace with a lot of background as a pitching coach for a number of teams. Roger McDowell fined and suspended without pay for a couple of weeks. Eventually he apologized. The second apology was a little bit different than the first one that Roger McDowell made. He's been required to complete sensitivity training as well after his inappropriate and offensive remarks that he made a couple of weeks back when the Braves were in San Francisco. Guys, your thoughts on the situation and the punishment?
Well, Roger McDowell's a friend of mine. I think that's a blip on the screen in his life. I'm not condoning what happened, and I'm sure it was terrible and inappropriate, but Roger McDowell is a fine human being, and he had a bad day and did a bad thing.
Off the end of the bat, left center field, and McClough there, 2 down.
And Freddie Gonzalez was saying that bringing Dave Wallace up was a seamless transition because basically Roger is a pup out of Dave Wallace's litter. Dave's been around baseball for the last 45 years. He coached Oral with the Dodgers. He coached on my staff with the Mets. He's a fabulous pitching coach, and he basically taught Roger McDowell how to be a pitching coach, and he's very disappointed in these actions, but believes that Roger can bounce back and make a right of his wrongs.
Quickly 2 down here in the Phillies' second, and the batter was Wilson Valdez, the second baseman, making his 21st start of the season in place of the injured Chase Utley. Or Valdez and Pete Orr, who have been splitting the time. They're sharing the job until Chase Utley can get back, and again he's now playing an extended spring. The Phillies are hoping that it's maybe sooner rather than later that Utley might be able to rejoin the team. Left center field and past Prado all the way to the wall. And into second base with a 2-out double is Valdez.
Well, that was a 2-out careless pitch.
It was not good location at all. It wasn't about velocity. It wasn't about movement. It was the fact that the ball is up and it's flat. See, in the K zone, it's a strike. But you start the ball that high and leave it that high, a big league hitter will feast on it. And Valdez did just that.
So the Phillies with a man at second, 2 down. Here's Dane Sardina, the catcher, called up just over a week ago. Carlos Ruiz is the #1 guy for the Phillies, and the Phillies just put him on the DL today, retroactively to the 28th of April with some back trouble. Brian Schneider moved from the #2 spot to playing almost every day. Sardina got called up for the minors to be the backup and gets a start tonight. It's not expected that Ruiz will be out that long. They can basically only lose him for about another week because they've DL'd him retroactively.
And Sardina hasn't played very much, and some might think with first base open and the pitcher on deck, why not put him on in this situation, even though it be the tying run. But a guy on deck can swing the bat.
That's Cole Hamels. He's coming off a game where he had 2 hits, including a triple on Tuesday against Washington. Well located right over the outside corner, but the count is 1-2.
In our game last Sunday, he pinch hit. They started to run out of players in the 14-inning game.
Hit a triple in his last start off that wall out there at right center.
And a breaking ball grounded up the middle to his left, Gonzalez. And Alex Gonzalez doing a little bit of everything defensively and with a bat. A 2-0 lead for Atlanta. A Baseball Tonight update coming out of this break.
Get him out remains to be seen. All right, first pitch from Hamels, a called strike. We'll go back inside to Dan, Oral, and Bobby.
Fellas, thank you very much. 2-0 Atlanta. We go to the top of the 3rd inning, and the batter is Jair Jurgens. The pitcher for the Braves fouls it back 0-2. You know, with that win today for the Marlins, they are now 20-13. That's the 2nd best record in the National League. They're 2.5 games back of the Phillies. But the Marlins are off to a terrific start this season. Anibal Sanchez, the starting pitcher today for the Marlins, took a no-hitter into the 7th inning. Florida eventually beat Washington at 8-0. Swing and a miss to get Jurgens for out number 1. Speaking of no-hitters, not 1 but 2 this week. After all the no-hitters in a perfect game last year, we're off to another big start in the no-hitter department. First it was Francisco Liriano no-hitting the White Sox on Tuesday. walked 6, struck out 2 through 123 pitches. And then yesterday in Toronto, Justin Verlander with the second no-hitter of the week and the second no-hitter of his career. Walked 1. It came in the 8th inning on a 3-2 pitch to J.P. Arancibia. That was the only base runner that Verlander allowed yesterday, as he joins Mark Burley and Roy Halladay, counting Halladay's postseason no-hitter, as the only 2 active Major League pitchers with multiple no-hitters. Liriano for the Twins on Tuesday, Verlander for the Tigers yesterday. Prado retired 2 down. And as we mentioned, Bobby, it seems like every day somebody's taking a no-hit bid into the 6th inning, into the 7th inning. What's going on?
I think pitchers have different repertoires now. I think they have more than 3 pitches, which used to be the standard, and their fastballs are moving fastballs, so it's basically 3 fastballs. Hitters have to adjust. They have to get their program readjusted to be able to hit what the pitcher throws, not what they think they see.
Quickly, 2 outs here in the Atlanta 3rd for Jason Hayward.
You know, I played under Bobby, and Bobby asked me a question when I came into the Met locker room. He said, "What's the best pitch in baseball?" I said, "Strike." He said, "No, the cut fastball of Mariano Rivera."
Broken back, ground ball to second. Valdez, inning over. 3 up and 3 down. Hamels needing only 8 pitches to take care of the Braves here in the 3rd. Cheesesteak last week when we were here. In the mood for funnel cakes?
I'll have cheesesteak.
I'll go the cheesesteak.
But funnel cake looks good.
Here's Cole Hamels.
I just think the cheesecake's better for you.
Kill you a little quicker, right?
I told you Hamels could really swing the bat. 5 for 15 so far this season, as Bobby mentioned. Had a triple in his last start Tuesday night against Washington. Off Livan Hernandez. He gave it a ride.
Stand up triple.
And that's about 4 days worth of bragging rights for a starting pitcher, right, Oral, for the next 4 days in BP?
Oh, for sure. And they were out early hitting today, and he takes it serious. The whole staff took it serious. I was very proud of the way they took batting practice for a pitching staff. They weren't out there goofing around. They were working on their swing.
Lines it sharply, but right at Ugla. Well, good at bat by Hamels, but he's retired. What they really pay him to do, though, of course, is throw the ball more than hit the ball, and Hamels is a key part of one of the best rotations in all of baseball. Let's look at the National League ranks. You know the Phillies are going to be right up there in all these categories. As we started to mention earlier, look at the Atlanta Braves. Jurgens, Hudson, Lowe, Hanson, Beachy. Maybe the names aren't quite as big as the Phillies' names, but so far this year, the numbers are just as good.
And the strikeouts are there also, Dan. Not only the ratio of strikes to walks, but the quantity of strikeouts.
A swing and a base hit through the right side for Jimmy Rollins. Let's break down that Atlanta staff a little bit further. There's Tim Hudson, who threw a one-hitter in his last start. And Tim Hudson, along with Derek Lowe, they're the two real veterans on the staff. Jurgens is now in his 5th year in the majors. Tommy Hanson, I know Oral's a real favorite of yours. And Brandon Beachy is not a household name yet, but nasty stuff. And they think he's got a world of ability. And Atlanta's got more arms coming, whether it's Mike Minor or Julio Teheran, the 20-year-old who made his major league debut in a spot start yesterday. Atlanta is loaded with pitching talent right now.
We'd have gotten Tim Hudson tonight instead of Jair Jurgens, but there was a rain out and a doubleheader, so he threw that gem for Dave Wallace and Freddie Gonzalez on Wednesday, and they were thinking about bringing him back on short rest, and Freddie Gonzalez said, we would if it was September, but right now we're on a roll. Let's just leave him on rotation. Jurgens is on 5 days rest, so he's got an extra day's rest, and over the course of his career he's been better on 5 days rest.
Hudson all the way back from elbow surgery, huh? Looking like the Hudson of a few years ago. Victorino the batter. Rollins not going, and the pitch misses outside, ball 1. Rollins is 8 for 9 stealing bases so far this year. He's given the high sign over to third, over to Juan Samuel, saying, show me the signs again.
That would mean there's probably going to be a pickoff from Jurgens if the Atlanta bench saw that. For me, it would be, because for me, it would be Jimmy getting the signs, misinterpreting them a little bit, and wanting to see them again. It meant what Juan Samuel did was real close to a steal sign, and he wanted to look at it again.
Chipper Jones in on the grass at third. Quick throw to first by Jurgens, and diving back in, Rollins.
Remember, Brian McCann's behind the plate. Very quick release. One of the best defensive as well as offensive catchers in the National League.
Now Rollins will step off and clean himself up. Have a little conversation with Sam Perlazo.
Cam won one game, throwing the runner out for the last out of the game earlier this season. Even though he's only 6 for 21 thus far, he could put it on the bag.
Jurgens wants to freeze him here. He comes set and holds for a long time.
Chopper to short, and out at first by a step. Victorino. Rollins into second on the play.
This was really terrific communication with Chipper going to his left and then being called off by Rodriguez. Chipper's in. He's going for it. Then he hears Gonzalez say, I've got it. He makes the play, gets the speedy run at first. Would have been a tough play for Chipper, ranging to his left and then setting his feet to make that throw.
So we've seen Gonzalez make the play in the hole, the play up the middle, charging a ball, and he's hit a 2-run homer tonight.
Well, he's pretty good, man.
He's having one heck of a night so far. Here's Polanco. And a strike taken by one of the great clutch hitters in baseball. Polanco hitting almost 400 this year with runners in scoring position, hitting 362 overall. A great contact hitter. A very underrated player in all aspects of the game.
Speaking of Polanco, Dan, the coaching staff of the Phillies believe he was the Gold Glove winner last year at third base. So, along with his hitting prowess, now batting third, he also picks it when he's on D.
He's played both third and second extensively in his career. A two-time Gold Glove Award winner as a second baseman. There goes the runner. And the pitch hit up the middle to his left, past a diving Gonzalez into center, a base hit. In to score is Rollins, and the Phillies are on the board, trailing 2-1.
Very aggressive play by Jimmy Rollins with two outs, stealing third base. He would have had it easily. People wonder why, but here on the inside pitch, Jimmy goes. Polanco stays on the ball and hits a two-hopper up the middle by the diving Gonzalez. People wonder, why would he be going on that play? You know, if he steals third base with 2 outs, he's on third. Polanco walks, then the big guy's hitting with a hole over on the right side. You have to be sure to make it, but he had a good jump.
Here's Howard. The shift is on for the Braves with 3 on the right side of the infield. And there's Ryan's mom, Cheryl, here in attendance. Again, honored before the game. The Phillies honoring one mom, one of their players, on each Mother's Day. It was Ryan Howard's mom who was out on the field before the game tonight.
There's a ball just outside that Ryan Howard has moved up on the plate this year to try and hit more consistently. Suggestion from his manager Charlie Manuel, who was a power hitter from the left side in his own right.
Well, he's up on the plate, and very wisely, he wears the elbow guard. He knows that pitcher's going to want to pound him inside, and he doesn't want to miss any time. So here he is wearing that elbow guard just in case they come in. He gets caught, he'll still be able to play the next day.
They should all wear them, right?
I believe it.
Down and away, 3 balls and a strike. So Howard moving up closer to the plate to try to get to that outside pitch a little bit better, and the numbers say that he's doing just that so far this year.
Indeed, and Charlie wants him to pull that outside pitch. Take the short part of the park for a home run.
Full count.
And Charlie's definition of a home run?
Just a long fly ball that
happens to go over the other side of the fence.
Lands on the other side of the fence.
I mean, some homespun truths from Charlie Manuel that are so perfect.
That's a good 15 minutes that we get sitting in his office talking baseball with Charlie Manuel.
Love Charlie.
There goes the runner. 3-2 pitch taken just off the outside corner for ball 4. Coverage of Major League Baseball continues this week on ESPN. First tomorrow at 7 Eastern, it'll be the Minnesota Twins at Fenway Park to take on the Boston Red Sox. And then Wednesday at 7 Eastern, Wednesday Night Baseball presented by Sears Lawn and Garden. The Cardinals take on the Cubs. Major League Baseball tomorrow night and Wednesday night here on ESPN. The Red Sox today defeated the Twins 9-5. That's a wraparound series between those two teams. And in that game, Daisuke Matsuzaka picked up the win. Adrian Gonzalez hit another home run for Boston, as Francisco takes a little bit high, ball 1.
Charlie's wanted him to have more patience. He has this year thus far 15 walks to go along with his 18 RBIs. If he doesn't expand, he's a pretty good hitter.
Fouled off, a ball and a strike. A run in this inning, a 2-out RBI single by Placido Polanco. David Ross tosses a souvenir in the stands here in Philly. Polanco moved up to second on the walk to Howard. Very high with a fastball, ball 2.
Jair Jurgens right there overthrew that ball. His first ball that he really came out of his delivery, and this is not a comfortable at bat for him. Until tonight, he had never faced Ben Francisco. Now he's got him in a jam. You get advice from the scouting report, your pitching coach, other pitchers, but you don't really know if your stuff gets somebody out until you face them. High fly ball to right center. McLeod
And the inning is over. A run, though, for the Phillies to make it 2-1, but it's the heart of the order coming up for the Atlanta Braves when we come back for the fourth. Welcome back to Citizens Bank Park, the statue of Hall of Famer Mike Schmidt outside the ballpark. As we go to the fourth inning, Chipper Jones is the batter, leading it off for Atlanta. First pitch swinging, chops it foul up the third baseline. Chipper grounded out his first time up. Broke into the majors for good his first full season, 1995. In 96, he began a stretch of 8 consecutive seasons in which he drove in 100 or more runs. At the knees for a strike. Chipper thought it was low. Live K-Zone agrees with him. And quickly an 0-2 count on Jones.
I think I've given up a few of those RBIs.
Yeah, and I managed against him 7 of those 8 years when he was driving in 100.
All the pitchers I'm critiquing this year can't wait, you know.
This is called foreshadowing what we're doing. Down and in with a cutter. Yeah, 1999 was his MVP year.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I was a Met.
That was fun to watch.
45 homers, 110 RBIs. You must have walked him once or twice, Bobby. You walked 126 times that year.
At least 4 times, not enough. Guarantee you that.
His MVP numbers, and of course did a lot of damage against the New York Mets, a team that year was managed by Bobby Valentine, and a team that year employed a pitcher by the name of Oral Hershiser. How are you guys enjoying this half inning?
Oh, really fun. This is great.
Swing and a miss, and Chipper is gone for out number 1. Let's revisit a particular series in September of 1999. The Mets and the Braves were battling for first place. And Chipper Jones hit 4 home runs in this series. Hit 7 on the season against the Mets. And maybe the crushing blow was off double nickel, Oral Hershiser. You left it a little up there, buddy.
All 3 of us did, it looked like. I'd love to do color analysts on those pitches.
Actually, he hit a singleton against Rick Reed and Dennis Cook. He hit a 2-run homer against you, and then a 3-run homer the next night against Al Leiter.
Wow.
If you can imagine. We made him the MVP.
How can you pitch us?
I don't know. How can I pitch to him?
And you're right. That series, those 3 games, the damage he did to the Mets kind of gave him a little separation in the playoff race, and also basically gave him the MVP. Right?
We were 1 game out of first going in there. They swept the 3.
Yeah. It was a tough series.
Yeah.
To say the least.
We had the lead in 2 of the games.
What'd you say in our meeting today?
Yeah.
Chipper made you a broadcaster.
That's right.
Drove
and he
right
got me
up
there, too. Those 7 years that got me up into the booth.
I was 41, 42 years old, trying to figure out a way to get somebody out. He wasn't going to let anybody figure out how to get him out that year.
He was great that year. He's been great his entire career. He is 39 years old, still doing it as well as anyone.
And a fastball right by McCann for the second out. When you talk about the great switch hitters in baseball history, especially those with power, you're talking about Chipper Jones, Mickey Mantle, Eddie Murray. And you can see among active players, there are only 3 players who have a career batting average of at least 300, a career on-base percentage of at least 400, and a career slugging percentage of at least 500. He's won an MVP. He's won a World Series. He's won a batting title. Dan Uggla, the batter. And in all likelihood, of course, Chipper Jones likely a Hall of Famer. A pop-up by Uggla, and another good inning for Cole Hamels. We'll hear from Dave Wallace, the pitching coach, acting pitching coach for the Braves, when we come back. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Time now for FaceTime, presented by Edward Jones. Buster Olney spoke with Atlanta's acting pitching coach, Dave Wallace, between innings.
Dave, how much of a difference has Alex Gonzalez meant to your pitching staff this year?
Well, I think anybody knows that he's a great defensive player. You know, you see the plays he's made tonight. You know, the leadoff play the other inning. He just keeps you in the game, and you're so much more confident out there when he's out there playing shortstop.
You might be seeing Craig Kimbrell later in the game, your closer. Tell us what you've seen in this first year of him being the closer.
Well, explosive fastball, you know, no fear at all. Billy Wagner last year, the time he spent with him, helped this kid a lot, and Rogers brought him along real well. So he'll have the learning curve as any young guy does, but explosive stuff, great breaking ball, and tremendous makeup.
Dave, thanks. Dan, back to you.
Dave Wallace, as we mentioned, discussed a little bit earlier, filling in for the suspended Roger McDowell. Wallace right now the acting pitching coach for a couple of weeks for the Braves. Jair Jurgens facing Raul Ibanez to begin the bottom of the 4th. And nobody happier to have Alex Gonzalez out there behind him tonight than Jurgens with the plays that he's made. Ibanez with a fly ball to center field his first time up. Chops it foul. The count is 1-2. The reputation for Gonzalez is if he can get there, he's going to make the play. But check out the arm strength, Bobby. How much he got Francisco by on that throw from the hole.
And this play is very reminiscent to our partner down on the stage, Barry Larkin. Used to leap and make this play with great arm speed in a very similar fashion.
Right over the outside corner for strike 3 called. First strikeout of the night for Jurgens.
Well, Earl, you said he had good stuff, and you said he had good makeup, and it proves he's really smart, too. He's getting those guys to hit the ball to the guy who catches it the best, Alex Gonzalez. Smart pitcher out there, boy.
Jurgens, 25 years of age, from Curacao. There comes Wilson of Valdez. Valdez doubled his first time up. Two runs in the second for Atlanta on a home run by Alex Gonzalez, and then a run back at the bottom of the third for the Phillies on a base hit by Placido Polanco. And a diving stop, the flip to the pitcher covering for the out, 2 down.
Okay, we have Freddie playing in because Valdez has some speed. He might be punting. His ball's hit the other way off his bat. He gets a very quick first step off the ball, half dive, knows where he is, collects himself, and gives a very good feed to pitcher covering.
You like that crossover step, too. Instead of the false step with the right foot, the crossover step with the left foot, where you gain all the ground on that ball.
It allows you to make the backhand a lot easier.
There's a big target over there at 6'5", a guy they think is already terrific defensively. Freddie Freeman. There's Dane Sardina. He'll take low ball 1.
Not sure about Freddie's shoes, to tell you the truth, but they're a good symbol for today.
It was easy from up here to spot the footwork.
One of a number of players wearing not only the pink armbands or using the pink bats, but wearing the pink shoes. There's a drive to left field. And it's over the head of Prado and off the wall and a bounce. Sardina with a big turn and then will stop and make his way back to first after a long single.
That's a career infielder playing left field to hold that ball to a single. And Martin Prado did not play an inning of left field in the big leagues until this year. But watch him play this ball. But you know where he got a lot of experience? Down in Venezuela. Every winter ball, he would play left field because there were other guys grooming themselves to be big league infielders. And he said, I'll play left field. What a teammate in winter ball to say, I'll play left field. And now it comes in handy as a left fielder here, and he looks like he's played it his whole life.
And what does Freddie say? He's his best defensive left fielder, best defensive third baseman, and best defensive second baseman, but can only play one at a time.
And the emergency catcher. There's Cole Hamels. And Martin Prado went out of his way, went over to Buster Olney down by the dugout and said, will you please tell the guys in the booth to wish a happy Mother's Day to all the moms back in Venezuela. He's from Venezuela. Alex Gonzalez is from Venezuela. And again, we echo the sentiments of all the players. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms who put up with all of us and are still putting up with us for all those years.
How many different countries do we have to say Happy Mother's Day to of all the big leaguers from all the different countries?
There are a lot in this ball.
Korea, Australia, Canada,
and the Dominican Republic.
Mexico. It's absolutely amazing, the worldwide reach.
Hamels is gone. The inning is over. We'll hear from Phillies pitching coach Rich Doobie when we come back. 3-1 lead for the Braves over the Phillies as we go to the fifth. Time now for more FaceTime presented by Edward Jones. Wendy Nick spoke with Phillies pitching coach Rich Doobie between innings.
Rich, Cole Hamels gave up the home run in the top of the second, but what else have you seen from your starting pitcher tonight?
Well, he's throwing the ball very well. It's just a changeup that stayed on the inside part of the plate that Gonzalez had enough bat to get to. But besides that, he's commanding everything, really. His stuff looks very crisp.
Cole told me last week that he's adjusted slightly the way he prepares for each start. What's he doing differently?
Well, I think he prepares a little bit more as far as video and stuff. I think Roy Halladay got him attached to that a little bit. Plus, he's been a tremendous worker as far as his workout program and his arm maintenance and his core maintenance.
Rich, thank you. Dan?
And as we bring you back to live action here in the fifth, Freddie Freeman goes deep, hits one out off Hamels, and Atlanta now leads 3-1. That snaps a stretch of 7 consecutive batters retired by Hamels.
The ball's up in the strike zone. You see they want to go in, and Freddie Freeman does a good job staying on the pitch that's on the inner half, but didn't get as far in as he'd like it for Cole Hamels. He did a nice job hitting that ball over the wall. Pulled his hands in, got the barrel of the bat on it. Hit it a little high, but long enough.
So Hamels, who had given up only 2 home runs in his first 6 starts this season, has given up 2 already here tonight.
And Larry Parrish, the hitting coach, says that's what Freeman has to learn to do. Take that inside pitch and drive it to right field. It wasn't in on the corner, it wasn't off the plate, but it was the inner third that he was able to loft and score for the Braves.
Here's Gonzalez, who homered his first time up, a 2-run shot back in the second. Grounder to short. And Gonzalez retired. 1 down. ESPN Sunday Night Baseball, presented by Taco Bell, is brought to you by Cisco. See what our network can do for your human network. Dan Shulman to Bobby Valentine, Oral Hershiser, Buster Olney, Wendy Nix, and the Baseball Tonight gang of Carl Ravitch, John Kruk, Barry Larkin, all here at Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia. Second week in a row that Sunday Night Baseball brings us to Philadelphia. Carl and the guys doing the show at 12:30 this afternoon Eastern Time, then the full hour show at 7 o'clock. We're happy to be bringing you the game here tonight as there's another play for Rollins. Long throw, and it pulls Howard off the bag, so safe at first is McLouth.
McLouth gets down the line very well there, but Jimmy Rollins just doesn't get his body turned enough to make an accurate throw on this. He backhands the ball well, then lands on his right foot, but it's not turned quite enough to make an accurate throw at the base. You'll see here, if he gets his ankle bone, inside ankle bone, when it comes down on the right foot, turn just a little more, this would be directed a little further up the line. Instead, it's down the line towards home. Howard can't make the tag.
An infield hit for McLouth. Bunting situation here for Jurgens, and he pops it foul. Not only are we busy doing the game, but there's Buster Olney online researching, probing, and tweeting during the game. He's got a lot of followers. I know, I'm one of them. Now you can follow him at Buster_ESPN. Right now, send him a message, find out what's on his mind. He's a busy man. Dawn till dusk and beyond. Now the bunt down by Jurgens. Hamels to second, and they get the lead runner, and back to first, the double play. Nicely done by the Phillies, beginning with Hamels, the pitcher. You get him and the defense off the field. Good defense by Philadelphia, but prior to that, the home run by Freeman. Atlanta now leads 3-1. Phillies as we go to the bottom of the fifth here at Citizens Bank Park. Sunday Night Baseball presented by Taco Bell. Beautiful ballpark. And they have been an outstanding host to all of us from ESPN for 2 consecutive weeks. We were here last week when the Mets were here. Now here for the Atlanta Braves game tonight. 1 week from tonight, we'll be at Yankee Stadium as the Yankees host the Boston Red Sox. Top of the order for the Phillies, Rollins, Victorino, and Polanco. As Rollins shows bunt, pulls the bat back, and he takes a strike. Got the attention of Chipper Jones. Rollins 1 for 2. He has singled and scored. Chipper in on the edge of the grass at third base. Middle infielders playing Rollins to pull just a little bit. Outfielders are as well. Big gap in left center field.
And for a pull hitter, they're really giving them a lot of the right field line, taking away the right field gap in the outfield, but a lot of space between Jason Hayward and the right field line.
To left. And at Prado, who makes the play for out number 1. Tuesday night on ESPN, catch the season finale of E60. First, E60 travels to Brazil to investigate a murder that shocked the soccer world. Then, get an inside look at the illegal world of underground cockfighting and learn the uplifting story of a hockey fan finding strength through his team. That's all on E60, presented by Lincoln. Tuesday night at 7 Eastern. Here on ESPN. Getting hungry again. The Fanatic was kind enough to hand deliver some Philly cheesesteaks to us last week.
I wonder if Crucky ate them all before the game today.
I don't know about you guys, but I had a little green hair in mine.
From the Fanatic?
Yeah. But I still won't turn it down.
Here's Victorino, a double and a ground out. And a strike from Jurgens. Victorino, an all-star 2 years ago, a 3-time Gold Glover. He really plays the game with a flair and an energy about him. If you walk into the Phillies clubhouse and it's quiet, Shane Victorino's not in the room.
They call him the Flying Hawaiian and say he's the fastest baseball player out of Hawaii. He took the place of Betty Agbayan.
Oh, that's right.
Over the outside corner, 2-2.
You had another one that I got to play with too. Sid Fernandez, the left-handed pitcher.
Run. He was the number 50 who could not run. You know, Betty could run. His body would fool you, but he could really run.
Yeah. Comes the 70th pitch of the night from Jurgens. And it's a big 2-hopper out to Uggla at second for the second out. Jurgens and the Atlanta Braves try to take 2 out of 3 from their division rivals, the Phillies. The Phillies lead the division right now. Florida's second. Atlanta is third, 4.5 back. These two teams will meet again next weekend in Atlanta. In between that, the Phillies play a series against the Marlins. Or this is a big stretch for the Philadelphia Phillies right now.
How about that pitching matchup coming up on Tuesday? Josh Johnson against Roy Halladay.
The reigning Cy Young Award winner against a guy in Johnson who could easily win it this year. Of course, Halladay's off to another great start, and he could easily win it again.
And Josh Johnson will throw a no-hitter this year. Book it.
I think the stat about him was in his first 5 starts this year, he didn't give up a hit in the first 3 innings. Not in any of those 5 starts. And he's given up only 26 hits in 48 1/3 innings so far this year. Fly ball to right field, and the inning is over. It's a very special day. It is Mother's Day, and this warms your heart. Phoebe Fanatic, Philly Fanatic's mom, is in the house.
Another fast-moving game, just like last week, with the Braves leading the Phillies by a score of 3-1. Pitching performances memorable on Sunday. Anibal Sanchez had a no-hitter going until the 7th inning today. He ends up with 11 Ks and gets the victory.
Anibal Sanchez establishing himself as one of the 2 top pitchers in Florida, at least with Josh Johnson.
And David Price. If you're mentioning Florida, I mean David Price,
well,
of course.
Yeah.
And the Rays having nearly as much success as the Marlins this season. Johnny Cueto, you mentioned this on Baseball Tonight, Barry. A huge start as he makes his first for Cincinnati. Kyle McClellan continues to pitch well. And Dan Herron goes into the 7th inning and strikes out 10. Let's focus on this National League East here, of course, with the Braves and Phillies. Do you think the Marlins will be there the entire season, given what he just said?
I really do, because they have a great bullpen and they have great starting pitching. But I think the Braves are going to be in second place and win the wild card because of their experience. The Florida Marlins have a lot of young core players that play every day. Sometimes they get into funks and they don't get out and they lose games unnecessarily.
I agree with you on the Florida Marlins, but in 2012 they got a new stadium coming, and their ownership is going to have to show those people that they're committed to winning.
And guys, Philadelphia's schedule in May is brutal. Florida, Atlanta, St. Louis, Texas, Cincinnati, and Colorado.
Guys, thank you very much. 3-1 Atlanta over Philadelphia. Atlanta, the 3rd place team in the National League East. Philadelphia's in 1st, and the Florida Marlins are in 2nd, just 2.5 games out, 20-13 so far this season, as Cole Hamels faces Martin Prado to begin the inning. After Prado, it'll be Hayward and then Chipper Jones. Bobby, I know early you were on that Marlins bandwagon. You like that team.
Oh, I really do like the team. Many very good young pitchers. You got a star at shortstop who hasn't really played up to his potential yet. And when he does, along with Mike Stanton out in right field and the rest of that underrated Gabby Sanchez at first, they're going to be around all year.
And to strike, a full count.
That's one of the worst bullpens in baseball last year. And now they've got that rebuilt bullpen. They're doing fantastic finishing games off. They're going to keep themselves in the race for a long time.
Hamels stepping off twice. I don't know if this is his inability to get on the same page with Sardina, but he's backed off the mound twice in this at bat. Now to play. Now, right now in the National League East, there appears to be, not a ton, but there's a little bit of a separation between the top 3 and then Washington, the 4th place team, and the Mets are in the basement right now. There's ball 4 as Prado draws the leadoff walk. But for the Florida Marlins, one thing that they've got is Josh Johnson. Incredible numbers, leads the National League in ERA right now. Last year had a 2.30 ERA. This year it is at 1.68. And we've seen, of course, what Anibal Sanchez can do, another key part of that Florida starting rotation. The Braves have the best starters ERA in the National League. The Phillies are 2nd. The Marlins are in the middle of the pack, 8th out of 16. But they do have a true ace, Oral, and Josh Johnson.
He's a stopper of stoppers right now, and he's throwing the ball so well. The ball's electric out of his hand with his fastball. His breaking ball is very, very sharp, and he's had great location. You think of a guy that size throwing that hard and have the location. That's why he's putting up the dominant stats.
The other 2 teams, though, these 2 teams have more depth, it appears, in their rotation. For the Atlanta Braves, they've got Brandon Beachy as their, I guess, number 5 guy. He's pitching great. And the Phillies, if everybody's healthy, Joe Blanton is their number 5 guy. He's expected to come off the DL and start tomorrow.
They got a shot in the arm from Vance Worley coming up and doing the job. And if Oswald stays hurt and he's on the DL, and if Blanton doesn't come back and isn't that successful, they've got an inside piece that's already performing that they can go to.
I think the thing that separates these 2 staffs is the Atlanta bullpen. It's young, but it's much more talented.
Craig Kimbrell, the closer. Johnny Venters, the power left-hander. A lot of good arms in that pen. Eric O'Flaherty did an outstanding job Friday night, striking out the side. They got some veterans. You saw Scott Lineberg. George Sherrill is in the pen as well. A nice mix for Freddie Gonzalez. The 2-2 to Hayward. Got him. Hamels takes something off. Well, we showed you going to break that how special a day it is, of course, for everybody. It's Mother's Day, and the Philly Fanatic is no exception. His mom, Phoebe Fanatic, is here. And this is just moments ago between innings. The Philly Fanatic presented Phoebe with a bouquet of flowers and then dumped her right off the four-wheeler. Nicely done, kiddo.
It looks like she blew a tire there. Wasn't even on a corner. Straight away blew the tire.
Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia, with the Braves leading the Phillies 3-1 in the 6th inning. Prada was the runner at first. He was thrown out trying to steal earlier tonight. The batter, Chipper Jones. Did we mention that one of his children is named Shay? Did we bring that up? With,
not yet.
No,
we didn't
sorry.
yet. I think it's very apropos, though.
We dug up just about everything we could find on what he did against the Mets. Now here are the 2, 3, 4, 5 hitters: Hayward, Jones, McCann, and Ugla. And Hamels has dominated them, but he has struggled with the bottom part of the lineup. Freddie Freeman, the 6th hitter, was homered. Alex Gonzalez, the 7th hitter, was homered.
You know, before the game, Buster said that Larry Jones here called Larry Jones to get a little tip before on his left-handed swing.
That was Larry Jones Sr.
Exactly. And his right-handed swing seems to be a little off also. You know, you get more reps on the left-handed side, but right now he's struggling with his right-handed swing.
Inside, 3-2.
Larry Jones Sr. has been a huge part of Chipper's life, and when Chipper was growing up as a little boy, he used to swing a little bat that was bigger than him at the time, and it was a Mickey Mantle model. When Chipper gets the 1,500 RBIs, which he did, the Braves give him a little trophy. And he said, I don't really need this recognition. I need the 1,510 when I pass Mickey Mantle to give the ball to my dad.
He won't add to his RBI total in this at bat as Hamels gets him looking for his 8th strikeout of the night.
Well, he doubles up inside and he hits the corner right here. The cut fastball. Remember the pitch before that was a fastball way inside. Chipper thought maybe that one will keep going inside, but it didn't. It caught the corner and caught him looking. There's that little mohawk you're talking about, Bobby.
Looking good, Chip. Well, maybe not.
There's Brian McCann. And a pop-up. Rollins hitting over. A leadoff walk, but that's all. Ryan Howard's going to lead it off for the Phillies when we come back with Atlanta leading 3-1. Baseball presented by Taco Bell. Beautiful aerial shot of Citizens Bank Park here in Philadelphia on a nice night. Business is brisk. The house is packed. Here to wrap up this series between the Atlanta Braves and the Philadelphia Phillies, and nobody gets a bigger cheer when he comes to the plate than Ryan Howard. Howard has grounded out and walked so far tonight. By the way, the home run that Howard hit last night was his 260th, moving him one ahead of Del Ennis for second place on the Phillies' all-time career rank. He's only 288 behind Mike Schmidt, who hit 548 home runs in his Hall of Fame career with the Philadelphia Phillies. Into center field, a base hit. Ryan Howard's mom, Cheryl, looking on. Oral, you spent a number of years growing up just across the state line in New Jersey. It came to Veterans Stadium. Phillies fan, Schmidt fan?
Phillies fan, Mike Schmidt, Larry Boa, Greg Lazinski, Steve Carlton. I'll tell you what, I was a Flyers fan at the time, but there's Schmitty on the wall, and boy, he was a lot of fun to watch hit.
Anfield,
that's for sure, too.
Baseball player.
Francisco gets the bunt down. Jurgens quickly on to first, just in time to get him.
This was a bunt, Dan, that wanted to catch Chipper by surprise. If it's down the line a little more, it's an easy base hit. Jurgens looked at Chipper Jones as this ball was bunted, thinking Chipper is going to be there. Where are you? No, I'm not there. He goes over, fields the ball with his right foot planted, and makes a very good play in a key spot in this game.
Francisco is credited with the sacrifice on the play. Howard into second with a one out. And now Raul Ibanez. Ibanez, when we were here last week, was in the midst of what would eventually become an 0-for-35 drought. Then what did he do? In a span of 11 at-bats, all against the Washington Nationals, he had 8 hits. And now he hasn't gotten a hit yet in this series against Atlanta. So it appears he owns the Washington Nationals, but everybody else owns Ibanez right now. And the Phillies, I mean, if their offense is to even approach the levels of the Philly teams of 08, 09, they really need more than they're getting from Ibanez.
And they need to move him down in the order a little, and the way to do that is bring Chase Utley back and drop him down a little further and bring Ruiz back and have a complete 1-through-8 lineup for the National League.
Liner to center. There's a base hit. Howard waited to see if it would drop. He will stop at third. Phillies on the corners with one out.
It's the ball that Jurgens would like back. It was a high off-speed pitch. Ibanez stayed on it. Ibanez got out of his slump. Charlie Manuel said, well, he's shorter to the ball. He's got a quicker bat. And the best thing about the way he's swinging now, he's getting some hits. And this is a hit right here. Off-speed 79. Stays on top of it. Still an uppercut, even though it was a high pitch. But he gets his hands above the ball, is able to hit it on a line.
Talking with Raul Ibanez before the game. He worked with my hitting coach for 20 years, Tom Robson, during the winter. Not that caused his slump, but he told him he told him more about his swing in 2 weeks than he had known in the 13 years that he's been a major leaguer.
Big moment here, but the Phillies down 3-1 in the bottom of the 6th inning. First and third, one out, but they are down near the bottom of their order right now. This is Wilson Valdez, who has played sparingly, but as you can see, has done a good job hitting in the clutch. He's doubled tonight. He's also grounded out. to the shortstop. There's 1 and 2, and the inning is over as Valdez grounds into the double play. 3-1 Atlanta at the end of 6. As we go to the top of the 7th inning here in front of the 143rd consecutive sellout at Citizens Bank Park, 45,619. They sell standing room only tickets, and they sell a lot of them here in this ballpark. Again, just an absolute love affair between this team and this town, with all the success that the Phillies have had in recent years, highlighted, of course, by the 2008 World Series championship, a return trip to the World Series in 2009. 4 straight trips to the postseason, and obviously with the starting rotation they have and some of the other great players they have, a heavy favorite to at least return to the postseason here in 2011. They do have the best record in the National League right now. They are 22-10, and in fact, with Cleveland losing earlier today, as of this moment, the Phillies have the best record in baseball. The Indians losing earlier today to the Angels 6-5. So Cleveland now 22-11. That win, by the way, was the 1,000th career win in the great managerial career of Mike Scioscia, who has his Angels in first place right now in the American League West.
One of the best in the business and a great guy.
Earl. He's an awesome guy. Texted him congrats.
Your catcher, right, Earl?
Yeah. And a very fine one at that.
Dan Uggla fouls it off, and the count is 2-2.
Well, you talk about complete games out of pitchers, and Cole's out here pitching now, down by 2 runs. Is this his complete game? Is he throwing right now knowing this is his last inning? He's going to get pinch hit for next inning?
That's the feeling you get as a National League pitcher, that's for sure. The difference between the American League and the National League. He was hoping, that double play ball last inning, maybe scratch another run out, maybe 2, and he would be able to get through that at bat. But you really know that you are pitching to give your team an opportunity to win, but you have that slim chance to get it yourself.
Here comes his 88th pitch of the night, and it's a big breaking ball to get Uggla swinging. Strikeout number 9 for Cole Hamels. Time now for our Weber Grill fan experience, and one of the things the fans love to experience here in this ballpark, and as we mentioned earlier, we did as well when we were here last week. Philly cheesesteaks, synonymous with this town. And they're selling them by the thousands here in the ballpark tonight. Good curveball again to Freddie Freeman. With more left-handed batters in the lineup tonight, we're seeing more curveballs from Cole Hamels. Tony Luke's one of the places you can go. Is that where John Kruk went to get his cheesesteak? Fly ball to left field. 2 down. Kruk, we're told, left the ballpark to go get his Philly cheesesteak. Went to Pat's and Geno's. You can't go wrong, right? Of course, Kruk played a lot of his career here in Philadelphia, so the man knows a thing or two about cheesesteaks.
Thank you. You guys are killing me.
Pat's and Geno's are located right near each other, so you can test them both. They're like 50 feet away from each other.
And apparently Kruk ruled it a tie.
Well, he wants free steaks from both places. That's why I ruled it a tie.
And Pats went to Geno's, loved them both. What's not to love? A pop-up. Easy play for Rollins. And an easy inning for Hamels. 7th inning stretch in Philadelphia. Braves leading 3-1. Brought to you by USAA. We go to the bottom of the 7th. The Braves lead 3-1. All 3 of their runs scoring on home runs. A 2-run shot by Alex Gonzalez. A solo shot for Freddie Freeman. Jair Jurgens and Cole Hamels have both pitched extremely well. Big strikeout numbers for Hamels tonight. But he finds himself in the wrong end of a 3-1 game right now because of the work of Jurgens. Let's take a look at our pro tips brought to you by Cabot Woodstains.
Well, Jair Jurgens is not throwing in the mid-90s anymore, but he's throwing more two-seamers, and when you throw the two-seamer and you locate it at the bottom of the strike zone, you get a lot of people out. Trusting his defense. Gonzalez in short has been outstanding, and he's really done a good job sawing hitters off and keeping the ball down. You know, his last 2 starts, Dan, 26 ground balls. That was the most in his big league career, and tonight he's got 9 ground ball outs so far, so he continues to keep the ball down, not worry about velocity, and make pitches.
We go to the bottom of the 7th. The Phillies are down 3-1. Dane Sardina, the number 8 hitter, is leading off. Then Cole Hamels is due up. You're down 2. Hamels is pitching great right now. There is activity in the Phillies pen. It is the right-hander Michael Stutz. You got to pull Hamels. You got to pinch hit here. Down 2 in the bottom of the 7th.
He's going to pinch hit. Yep. Down 2 in the bottom of the 7th. Yes, indeed. Probably go back-to-back pinch hitters.
Yep. Brian Schneider, after Sardina was in the on-deck circle during the 8 warm-up pitches for Jair Jurgens. Now Schneider will take his place to begin the inning. And there's activity in the Atlanta pen as well. Left-hander Eric O'Flaherty, who came on in the 7th inning on a Friday night when Derek Lowe left with a blister problem. There were runners at 2nd and 3rd, nobody out, and O'Flaherty struck out the side, including Ryan Howard. Schneider to face Jurgens. Ball 1 low. The on-deck circle is empty at the moment. Oop, I spoke too soon. Pete Orr has popped up the steps into the on-deck circle, so he will, it looks like, presumably bat in Hamel's spot. And just low. 2 balls and a strike. The Fanatic trying to whip him into a frenzy here in the bottom of the 7th. Good thing his mother isn't around to see this. Phoebe was here, but she has left the premises. As Schneider rips the ball to right field, but Hayward is there to make the catch. 1 down. So 1 loud out here in the bottom of the 7th, and now Pete Orr will bat for Cole Hamels. More of an infielder getting some time at second base along with the Valdez in the absence of Chase Utley. In on the corners and back up the middle against Orr, who takes outside ball 1. Jurgens Orel has made 5 starts this season. In the first 4, he went 6 or more innings in each and gave up 2 or fewer runs in each. And if he can minimize the damage, he's on track for that kind of a night again here.
Yeah, both pitchers tonight are horses that have been eating innings, but Jurgens just out pitching him tonight. That is Cole Hamels. You know, Bobby, for me, odd selection of sending these guys up in this order, Schneider and Orr, because Schneider has 2 home runs, Orr has none. I would think down by 2 that Charlie would have went the other way. Maybe it has to do with who's going to stay in the field.
Sinking liner into left field for a base hit. Nice try by Prado, but clearly trapped, and it's a base hit for Orr. And Prado a little bit slow to get up.
Prado got a very good jump on that ball and a terrific angle. Premature dive, though. Ball could have gotten by. There he goes. He gets his ball on 1 hop as he dives. And it's not really a dive. It's more of a leap up and then down. Had the presence to catch the ball on a bounce, not let it get by. McClough was by him. Now Freddie has to go to the bullpen here. He wanted this to go into the 8th inning, so he had Venters and then Kimbrel instead.
It'll be O'Flaherty, the left-hander, making his way into the game when we come back. Jurgens is gone, with Atlanta still up 3-1. Ball presented by Taco Bell is brought to you by One A Day Men's, the official multivitamin of MLB, specially formulated for men. Back in Philadelphia, where the Braves still lead the Phillies 3-1. We're in the bottom of the seventh. Pete Orr is at first base, 1 out in the inning, and Fredi Gonzalez, the manager of the Braves, has gone to his bullpen for left-hander Eric O'Flaherty, who is having an outstanding season with an ERA just over 1. And what he has done exceptionally well is keep the men on base when he enters the game from scoring. A perfect 7 for 7. And as we mentioned earlier, as he comes in relief here for Jair Jurgens, O'Flaherty came on in a second and third nobody out situation Friday night and struck out the side. Ryan Howard, Ben Francisco, and Raul Ibanez. He faces Jimmy Rollins here to begin this appearance for him. This is O'Flaherty on a Friday night. You know, the sixth, seventh inning guys, Bobby, as you know, sometimes they perform in relative anonymity, but these outs count as much just as any other out, and these were 3 huge outs for the Braves on Friday.
They make or break a season. They get you to the guys that you depend on in the 8th and the 9th, and they have to usually go through the middle of the order, just like we're experiencing here.
You talked about how much you like the Atlanta pen. The numbers that they have put up here in this series back that up. Still 0-2 on Rollins. Rollins a ground out, a base hit, and a fly ball tonight. Three runs on 5 hits, no errors for Atlanta. 1 run on 8 hits now for the Phillies. They've already stranded 6. And that pitch misses just outside. Or the lead at first, being held on by Freeman. 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball on the appeal. He didn't go, says Laz Diaz. And it's 2-2 on Jimmy Rollins.
That's a great
Is
take.
it easier to hold that pink back? Harder to see.
That's a great take, because this really puts you in a place where as a pitcher you don't want to go to 3-2, so Jimmy's going to get a much better pitch to hit right here.
Ground ball to short. To second one, on to first in time for the double play. The second inning in a row where the Braves turn an inning-ending 6-4-3 double play. Baseball on ESPN, presented by Taco Bell. With Oral Hershiser, Bobby Valentine, Wendy Nix, Buster Olney, Carl Ravitch, Barry Larkin, John Kruk. A cast of thousands. I'm Dan Schulman. We go to the 8th inning here on Sunday night. Rookie right-hander Michael Stutz is into the game. His 6th appearance of the season. He was called up in late April when Jose Contreras went on the DL, where he remains, as does Brad Lidge. So it's a depleted Phillies pen, but they've still got some good arms out there, still doing a good job. Ryan Madson right now is the closer. And Stutz comes on to try to keep this at just a 2-run deficit, facing Nate McLouth to begin the Atlanta 8th. McLouth tonight has struck out and had an infield hit. Dirt, ball 2. There is activity in both bullpens right now. There's left-hander Antonio Bastardo, who has done a terrific job this year. Picked up a save, but has become kind of the 8th inning guy and the late lefty right now in the Philadelphia pen. Just low. For Atlanta, working in the upper bullpen, the one closer to the fans is Johnny Venters. And remember, originally when the ballpark was built, it was the other way around. There's a strike. But now the visitors have to be in closer proximity to the always friendly Philadelphia fans.
The city of brotherly love. How convenient to be right there, having them overhang while you're trying to concentrate and get ready for the big game.
There's ball 4.
Another aspect of home field advantage.
So Stutz walks the leadoff man. And now Eric Hinsky will bat for Eric O'Flaherty. Hinsky, a former Rookie of the Year. Way back when with Toronto, can play first, third, left, right, and has had a habit of playing on some good teams. We talked about Orlando Cabrera last week. The good teams follow some guys around, or maybe the other way around, but Hinsky's one of those guys.
It's not a coincidence that his teams always get toward the playoffs, if not into the playoffs, because he speaks the right words. He acts the right act. He gets it.
Hinsky has been in the postseason with the Red Sox in 07, with the Rays in 08, with the Yankees in 09, and with the Braves last year. 4 straight years in the playoffs with 4 different teams.
And people out there might say, well, he doesn't play that much. How could he be such a contributing factor? Well, when you're not playing, it means you have a lot of time to talk.
Exactly. And you need the support. The general, the manager, needs the support from the lieutenants, and he likes some of them to be in a playing uniform. They're not player coaches, but they are guaranteed to have a voice of a player, but supporting management.
Meanwhile, Stutz walks McLeod. Now he's 2-0 on Hinsky. And a high fly ball to right field. Francisco turns and watches it go. Eric Hinsky comes off the bench, hits a 2-run homer, and it makes it 5-1 Braves. Third home run of the game for Atlanta. All 5 of their runs have come on homers.
And you fall behind Eric Hinsky and give him a fastball strike. He knows exactly what to do with it. He's done it before, and he's done it tonight. Fastball down the middle, perfect swing, and he wasn't going to leave this one in the playing field. Just the fly ball that comes down on the other side of the fence.
As Charlie Manuel would say. The second pinch hit home run of the season for Eric Hinsky. 5-1 Atlanta now. Back to the top of the order for Martin Prado. The Braves looking to take 2 out of 3 in this series. And if they do win tonight, it'll be 7 wins in their last 8 games overall. with another series against Philadelphia in Atlanta next weekend.
A microcosm of the two bullpens, I believe.
A pop-up. And finally settles into the mid of Rollins for out number 1. So home runs by Gonzalez, by Freeman, by Hinske. Things are going pretty well for Atlanta. They're playing some good baseball right now under first-year manager Fredi Gonzalez, a former coach with Atlanta, former manager with the Florida Marlins, and a pretty seamless transition, Bobby, from Bobby Cox to Fredi Gonzalez.
Exactly, Dan. This has been a transition that often you see a manager fired, and the new manager has to come in and change everything. With Fredi, he already knew the system. He was a disciple of Bobby Cox's and his past third base coach. So coming in, there was nothing to change. This was more of the same. Let's stay the course and do what we've been doing, and it's been very seamless. The players accepted him as the guy. He's a terrific communicator, a terrific field manager, and hardly any adjustment has been made on either side, Fredi nor the players.
3-0 the count on Hayward. There's ball 4. So Stutz has thrown 11 pitches, 10 balls, and a gopher ball. That's it. As Charlie Manuel looks on with some concern. Plus the at-bat to Prado. When the 3 batters he didn't get, Hayward, McLouth, and Hinske, was nothing but missing the plate or giving up the home run. Got the pop-up from Prado, but Schneider's out to try to settle down Stutz and to buy some time with the right-hander Scott Matheson working in the pen, and here comes Charlie Manuel with the hook. He has signaled to the pen that's going to be all for Stutz. Atlanta has lengthened the lead here in the 8th inning.
My mom, like all mothers, and you know, they were the ones that took us to practice when we were little kids and cleaned our uniforms when we got dirty, and so without them, really, you know, we probably wouldn't be able to be Major League Baseball players or Major League Baseball coaches.
Welcome back to Philadelphia, and we echo the sentiments of Fredi Gonzalez. We heard from Ryan Howard earlier in the night. Again, happy Mother's Day to all the great moms out there. We're watching this game tonight with the Braves now leading the Phillies 5-1 here in the 8th inning. You can see all over the ballpark again the pink wristbands, shoes, bats, all in honor of Mother's Day and the Major League Baseball initiative to raise funds towards breast cancer research. Baseball does a similar thing on Father's Day toward prostate cancer research. Here's Scott Matheson, just recalled a couple of days by the Phillies when Roy Oswalt went on the DL with some back discomfort. They don't think it'll be too long for Oswalt. The Phillies again hoping to get Oswalt and Carlos Ruiz back within a week to 10 days. Ruiz just went on the DL today, but it was retroactive. They've got Contreras out. They've got Lidge out. They've got Utley out. Yet they've still got the best record in the National League right now as Chipper Jones takes a strike. Chipper's 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. All of that was batting right-handed against Cole Hamels, so he turns around to the left side for the first time tonight. Hayward at first, 1 out.
Scotty Matheson being groomed down in the minor leagues in Las Vegas last year. 28 saves to be an end-of-the-game guy. It was the Paul Owens Award winner last year for the Philadelphia Phillies organization, which is the minor league pitcher of the year.
Down to third. Backhanded by Polanco to second, one on to first, not in time. Very close as the Phillies almost turn an extremely difficult double play, but they'll have to settle for the lead out.
Now this is a fine backhand by Polanco at second, releasing the ball quickly and giving a great feed to second base. The bag is being used properly with Hayward coming across the bag, standing up. Very close at first base. Everything done properly on this play. Just couldn't get it there in time. Jason Hayward.
That's a big man rolling into second base. Coming right at Wilson Valdez. So 2 down and a man at first. Breaking ball misses low to Bryan and McCann. The Braves adding a couple of runs this inning on the pinch hit home run by Eric Hinsky to make it a 5-1 game. The Phillies have scored only 4 runs in this series. They got 3 last night in a win. They've got 1 tonight. They were shut out on Friday. As Hinsky, whose pinch hit homer gave the Braves some breathing room.
He said he doesn't play much, but he talks a lot. And you see him right there. Shot of him. He's talking.
There's a ball lined to center field. It'll drop for a base hit. Jones up to second on the single by McCann. MLB.TV, baseball everywhere. Watch over 100 live out-of-market games per week online and on your favorite device. Visit MLB.TV for details. Dan Uggla is the batter. Ugla's 0 for 3. Uggla, guy, of course, who played for Freddie Gonzalez in Florida, so he's very used to Gonzalez. And by all accounts, fit in instantly and seamlessly as a teammate when he got to the Atlanta Braves. Now they're just waiting for Uggla to start swinging the bat like they know he can.
Well, tonight, an 0 for 3 against left-handers, which he was hitting 139 coming into this game. He's got a little better chance here against righties. He's hitting 240.
Bouncer to third. Inning over. 2 more runs for the Braves on the home run by Hinsky, and a 4-run lead going to the bottom of the 8th. at Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia. Join Major League Baseball in going to bat against breast cancer. Purchase your pink bat today at MLB.com, and $10 will be donated to Susan G. Komen for the cure. All in honor of Mother's Day here at the ballpark and around all Major League ballparks today and tonight. We have a couple of changes now for the Atlanta Braves. The new shortstop is Diory Hernandez, just called up today. Alex Gonzalez leaving with a slight groin strain. And on the mound, left-hander. Look at these numbers. Johnny Venters. Virtually unhittable Orel so far this year. He generally works the 8th inning for Atlanta. 6 hits in 17 2/3, 4 walks, 19 strikeouts. He's given up 1 run. Shane Victorino, the batter, and the count quickly 0-2.
He keeps his two-seamer down. It's one of the best two-seam fastballs you're going to see. The ball just disappears with sink.
Inside at 94 miles an hour. Last year as a rookie, Venters came up, made 79 appearances, had an ERA under 2, and struck out better than a batter per inning. For a team, Bobby, that expects to contend, it is rare to have guys as young as Johnny Venters and Craig Kimbrell working the 8th and 9th innings, but it's also rare to have guys with arms like Johnny Venters and Craig Kimbrell.
Very talented. And talking to Freddie before the game, are you developing or are you trying to win? Was the question. And he said we're trying to do both. We have terrific young pitchers that we're developing. We have Freddie Freeman and Jason Hayward that we're going to keep developing. But we're here to win this because we think we have enough talent to do it this year and in the future.
High fly ball, deep left center field, carrying and off the wall. Victorino around second, on his way to third, and in there with a stand-up triple. Already the 4th triple of the season for Victorino.
Well, we said the two-seamer, when it's down, it sinks. When it's up, it's a little more flat, and you see that it stayed on the level plane of the bat, on the barrel. Shane Victorino does a good job, hands above the ball, slight uppercut that drives the ball to left center. He did a good job rounding second base to check this out, because when Martin Prado grabs the ball, that little bobble right there is the same thing that Shane saw around second and made it to third.
Now Polanco takes a strike. 1 for 3. Polanco tonight had an RBI single, driving in the only Phillies run of the game. That was back in the 3rd inning. The crowd energized again after that hit.
As a runner at second base, you do not pick up the third base coach when the ball's in front of you, and you see Shane Victorino the whole way with the play in front of him, watching Prado play that ball in left field, picking up the timing of knowing that he can make it to third easily, because down by 4, you do not want to make an out there.
Out to short, the runner hesitated. Hernandez can't come up with it. The run scores. Polanco safe at first. Again, Hernandez just entered the game. Alex Gonzalez leaving with a slight groin strain, tested early and couldn't come up with it. It is scored an error on Hernandez, but Polanco is credited with an RBI on the play.
Ball was hit hard off Venters' glove. Hernandez got a good jump of the ball up the middle, but when he went to change directions and stop, lost his footing, created a misdirection of his glove.
Now Ryan Howard. A power left-hander against one of the game's most devastating left-handed power hitters in Howard.
Those are back-to-back solid contacts off of Johnny Venter, and it might be the first time this year that that's happened. I think now his ball's starting to sink a little more. Orel, he might have been overthrowing a little those first 2 hitters.
And a strike 0-2. The pressure building on Venters here, but a run in, nobody out. All of a sudden, the tying runs in the on-deck circle. Left-handed batters are 1 for 16 against Venters this year. And Ryan Howard, as you can see, just 1 for 9 in his career. Ground ball to second. There's one, and not in time at first. The unusual defensive alignment with a shift on that was Ugla feeding Chipper Jones, who came across to make the play, but safe in the fielder's choice is Howard. Was it Hernandez still there? Had Chipper moved around to the other side?
I think he got there, and what you saw here is to see, yeah, you got it exactly right with Ugla backhanding the ball and throwing the ball to Hernandez. Chipper had the shift on, but he was on the other side of the bag.
Forgive me. Yep.
They keep the shortstop on the left side of the bag.
Yeah, Chipper had gone to the second base side of the bag, so 4-6 on the putout. Howard aboard on the fielder's choice. And now Ben Francisco. Left center field, well hit. Making the catch just shy of the track is McLouth. 2 down.
McLouth made a nice in-flight adjustment on that ball. That ball looked like it was going to left center over what it would be when his back's to home plate, his left shoulder, and he just tilted away because Francisco sliced that ball, went back towards center field. And I'll tell you what, you see him in the background, see the route that he starts to take, and now watch the late adjustment there, because when the ball loses velocity, the spin takes over, and it started to curve back towards center field, and he made it look routine.
So 2 down now, and a scoring note. The air has been taken away from Hernandez, and now Polanco has been credited with an RBI single to drive in the run that has made it 5-2. The batter is Raul Ibanez, 1 for 3.
The cumulative total of how hard the ball's been hit this inning is the best inning that the Phillies or any team has had off of Venters all year.
I truly believe that. Boy, these are good at-bats.
Venters giving up just the second run he's allowed all season. 2-0. Phillies out hitting the Braves 10-7, but trailing 5-2 here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Freeman playing behind the runner, Howard at first. And there's a ball pulled through the right side for a base hit. Howard to second. The tying run will come to the plate for the Phillies.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Dave Wallace go out to the mound here. Let this young man know that all is fine. You still have great stuff. Let's work on this hitter, get this out, see how we can do this. Now, Dave's just going to get a drink of water and let the kid do it himself.
And we got a pinch hitter coming up, John Mayberry Jr. Right-handed batter, outfielder with some power. Mayberry's made only 5 starts this season, but he already has 4 pinch hits this year. In his relatively brief career as a big leaguer, he's got 26 hits. 13 of them have been for extra bases. And the Phillies suddenly a swing away from tying the game. At the knees for a strike. Mayberry's dad, a big, strong left-handed batter, had some great years with Kansas City and with Toronto as well. A first baseman with a lot of power. Nasty stuff, Will.
There's the depth on the sinker that we've been looking for throughout the inning. He's been getting hit hard, even though some have been for outs, but they've been up and flat. Look at the depth on this two-seam fastball at 94 miles an hour. That's what the rest of the league has been seeing in all the other innings he's pitched other than this one tonight.
2 on, 2 out. In the dirt. At second base, Ryan Howard. At first, Raul Ibanez. Mayberry is batting for Wilson Valdez. Did he go? Ooh. That requires another look, don't you think, fellas?
Well, you only get to see it once, and this is one of those interesting calls. What constitutes a swing? It's not when the bat goes in front of the plate. I think it's when the head of the bat goes in front of the hands. That looked like a check swing to me. Very tough to call with the naked eye, but it's undefined in the rule book.
Mayberry still at the plate. 2-2 the count. 3-2 the count. Runners will get a head start.
If he tries to throw that breaking ball that he's tried to strike him out with, but for a strike, it's a mistake for me because I think that's the only pitch that Mayberry can hit out. A down and in breaking ball right into his swing. I think he's got to throw that two-seamer away that he got the swing and miss at.
Got him. Oh, he fouled it off and in and out of the glove of McCann. Left that ball up, Oral. Your heart's pounding.
That's the one that gave me a heart attack right there. It's up, it's in. You say, well, it's a 3-2 breaking ball. We're going to try and fool him, but I'll tell you what, that's right in his wheelhouse.
And look at this ball stick in the glove of McCann.
Dan Chipper just went to the mound and said, son, you've got a power sinker, throw it.
Fly ball right center. And playable for McLouth to end the inning. The Phillies get 1, but Strand 2. And we're at the end of 8, Atlanta up 5-2. Is presented by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. And in part by Kingsford Charcoal. Slow down and grill. We go to the top of the 9th here in Philadelphia. The Braves leading 5-2. All kinds of excitement at the bottom of the 8th as the Phillies got 1, got the tying run to the plate. But finally, Johnny Venters struck out John Mayberry Jr. to end the inning. Michael Martinez takes over at second base now for the Phillies. Scott Matheson is still on the mound for Philadelphia. Cole Hamels tonight Went 7 innings, gave up 3 runs earned, walked 1, struck out 9. But all he can do is wind up with a loss or maybe a no decision if the Phillies can come back. He left trailing in the game. Then the damaging inning, really, Bobby, was the tack-on runs there given up by Michael Stutz, the home run by Hinsky that gave Atlanta some breathing room, made it 5-1. It's 5-2 right now. Hinsky, the pinch hit homer, as Freddie Freeman leads off the top of the 9th for the Braves. The Phillies in the bottom of the 9th will have the bottom of the order coming up. The number 8 hitter Schneider, then the pitcher spot, then back to the top of the order for Rollins.
The hitting coach Larry Parrish says this kid has the potential to be very good, but he does have to learn on the fly here at the big league level.
He's got himself a 3-for-4 night after lining one into left field.
You throw a fastball up and away to this young man, he knows what to do with it. His weakness is inside, but when you get it up and out over the plate, he'll serve it in the left all day long. He did it there as he gets firm and then leads with the hand and drives the ball to left field. And the ball is directed to the opposite field. The hands are always way out in front of the head of the bat, as you just witnessed in that last swing. We were butting to try to get that insurance run down.
Yori Hernandez is the batter. Came on an inning ago defensively for Alex Gonzalez, who left with a slight groin strain. This time he gets the bunt down, and the play for Matheson is to first. The sacrifice moves Freeman to second. Freeman, by the way, a rookie, just picked up his first 3-hit game in the big leagues.
Freddie Gonzalez talked about him as far as his defensive abilities.
There's the closer for the Atlanta Braves, right-hander Craig Kimbrell. He's also just like Johnny Venters, although Venters got knocked around a little bit here tonight. But like Venters, Kimbrell is awfully tough to hit, which is high to Nate McLeod. Kimbrell is 7 for 9 in save situations, but you look at some of the other numbers, only 8 hits in 14 2/3 innings, and he has struck out 20 batters. He has, in his brief major league career, which goes back to last season, a ridiculous strikeout to innings ratio.
And the really underlining good news is that Freddie Gonzalez and Dave Wallace both said after the blown saves, he was not phased. He came back with the same stuff and closed out the next game.
Ball 3. Stutz gave up 2 walks last inning. One of them came at a score. And now Matheson behind 3-0 on a McLeod. Brooks Conrad is out in the on-deck circle in the pitcher spot. Green lights for McLeod, and he fouls it back.
It's the kind of swing you want to see on 3-0, a man on second base in a situation like this. He tried to hit it into the gap. He'll get another chance on 3-1.
Ball 4. So runners at first and second with a 1 out. Coverage of Major League Baseball continues this week here on ESPN. Tomorrow at 7 Eastern, it will be the Minnesota Twins in Boston to take on the Red Sox. And then at 8 Eastern, Wednesday Night Baseball presented by Sears Lawn and Garden, the St. Louis Cardinals and the Chicago Cubs. Major League Baseball tomorrow night and Wednesday night on ESPN. Here's Conrad. Ball 1. Every at bat Conrad has had this year as a pinch hitter. Freeman is out at second, and McLeod's at first. 1 out, 5-2 Atlanta, top of the 9th. A ball and a strike. Atlanta has scored all 5 of its runs on home runs tonight. Alex Gonzalez, a 2-run homer. Freddie Freeman, a solo shot. And then Eric Hinsky with a 2-run home run in the 8th inning. The two teams have split the first 2 games of the series as the Phillies begin a very difficult stretch for them. With the games, this is game 3 of 20 in a row against teams that are above the 500 mark, including a return match, a 3-game series with the Braves in Atlanta next weekend. They've got a series with the Florida Marlins beginning this week. Including a Roy Halladay against Josh Johnson game. That should be fun unless you're one of the hitters involved in that game. But after Florida Atlanta, the Phillies play the Cardinals, then the Rockies, then some interleague play with the Rangers, then the Reds. So playing a lot of contending teams in the next 3 weeks. And another walk. This one will load the bases. And all those good vibes and energy that the Philly fans were experiencing in the bottom of the 8th, that's all gone right now. They're grumbling.
But they're very educated fans. They know that this is the underbelly of the Philadelphia Phillies team. When their starters leave the game and guys march in from that bullpen, they are nervous and they're showing their displeasure with their sarcasm with Charlie.
And Charlie Manuel is on his way out to the mound. Anis Baez is on his way into the game. On the Phillies, the bases are loaded with 1 out here in the top of the 9th inning. And Charlie Manuel goes to his pen for veteran right-hander Anis Baez, making his 14th appearance of the season, and he finds himself in a jam instantly. One created by Scott Matheson. Bases loaded. Martin Prado was the batter, but he'll take a strike. Prado was 1 for 3 with a walk tonight. And a sarcastic cheer goes up from the crowd here in Philadelphia because a Phillies pitcher threw a strike. Stutes walked a couple. Matheson walked a couple. Prado's such a big part of this Atlanta team and so well respected, Bobby, by his teammates.
Yeah, they love his work ethic. They know he takes everything seriously, every at-bat, every play in the field. Freddie says he's a leader on this team, and I believe him when he says it.
Down the right field line, slicing toward the seats and back out of play.
And if you're a sabermetric guy or a stat guy and you want to look at this matchup that's happening on the field, Baez is batting average against with runners in scoring position 467. Prado batting average with runners in scoring position 462.
Wow.
It's not real good for the Phillies as far as equation that way. But as Bobby will say, statistics predict the past very, very well.
Breaking ball down and away. Good stop by Schneider. Braves looking for a little more insurance here in the top of the ninth, a little more breathing room. Jason Hayward looming on deck. Two and two on Prado. A tough out, a good contact hitter. Chopper to short. Rollins steps on the bag on to first. Double play, inning over. Good job by Baez. The Braves leave a couple of men on and will take a 3-run lead to the bottom of the ninth, up 5-2 on Mother's Day here in Philadelphia as the Atlanta closer, Craig Kimbrell, the strikeout machine, comes out of the Atlanta pen and makes his way onto the field as he jogs in toward the mound here to get ready for a save opportunity. Out to right center field off Hamels. And then Eric Kinski with a pinch hit 2-run home run off Michael Stutz on a 2-0 count. Launching it to right field. A 2-run shot. Atlanta leading 5-2 going to the bottom of the ninth. Let's go down to field level and find out what's going on down there. What's trending tonight, as the kids say, with Buster Olney.
Hey guys, the big thing that around baseball being talked a lot about tonight, the lack of runs around baseball. The fact that the runs production is down. What you hear a lot about is the fact that weather was bad early on. The fact that you've seen a lot of young pitching. And guys, before today's game, I was talking with Chipper Jones, and he talked about the cut fastball. He said, this has become the bane of my existence. He said, you didn't see many guys do it until Mariano Rivera popularized it. Dan, back to you.
And we saw the cut fastball from Cole Hamels tonight. It's definitely, is it much more of a weapon, Oral, than it was 20 years ago?
We look at the Phillies staff alone. Cliff Lee, Cole Hamels, Roy Halladay, all throw it.
Yep.
Blanton is starting to learn it and possibly throw it. You're going to see it throughout baseball, and the man sitting to my left predicted it about 10 years ago.
Brian Schneider takes a strike at a 97-mile-an-hour fastball from Craig Kimbrell, second-year pitcher. As we mentioned, hard to hit, big strikeout numbers. Oral, is it the fastball or the slider that Kimbrell racks up all those strikeouts with?
They're both electric. He can go either way, and what he's done as a young guy, he really realizes when he needs to throw a strike and when he can throw a ball out of the hitting area. And at 97 miles an hour, you don't have to be perfect. and he was effectively wild. And one of the concerns when he got to the big leagues, will he have good enough control? But at the big league level, he has found more command and has been able to rely on the fact that my stuff is good enough, and he's pitching more in the strike zone.
Ahead of Schneider, a ball and 2 strikes. Just missed low. All 3 fastballs he's thrown have been right at 97 miles an hour. (5-2) Atlanta, bottom of the 9th, rubber match of this 3-game series. And the 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss, elevated the fastball for out number 1.
The higher and harder you throw, the harder it is to hit. And right there, the top of the strike zone, 96 miles an hour. You don't have to hit the glove when you throw that hard, or you have exceptional movement. You have the ability to have a bigger spray pattern because the hitter starts a little earlier. They don't recognize the pitch, and you get it by him.
1 down in the bottom of the 9th. Here's pinch hitter Ross Glode batting in the pitcher's spot. He's already got 5 pinch hits on the season in 15 at bats. And 2 years ago, he led the majors in pinch hits with 21. So this is a job he's familiar with, but that doesn't make hitting 97 any easier.
It's amazing, Earl. Billy Wagner was in this spot for Atlanta at about 5'9", 175, throwing 97 with a great hook. Who do they replace him with? Another guy at 5'10", throwing 97 with a great hook. Wow.
Hey, Mark Wallers, John Rocker, they like the hard throwing closers.
And then a slider drops in for a strike, 1-2.
Just proves you don't have to be big to be efficient. If you're efficient, you can advance the ball forward at maximum speed.
If it holds up, Jair Jurgens would get the win, which would bump him to 4-0 on the season. He gave up 1 earned run in 6 1/3. Eric O'Flaherty got a double play ball to end the 7th. Johnny Venters worked the 8th, gave up a run. And now Kimbrel on in the 9th.
That's that Louisiana pitch. It's kind of bayou.
Just low. Full count now on Glode with Jimmy Rollins on deck. Up the middle, a base hit. So the Phillies with a base runner here in the bottom of the 9th with 1 out for Rollins.
Freddie Freeman holding the runner on here. What we're looking for if you're Atlanta is 2 outs. You don't care if this guy takes this base. He should be playing behind the runner here, clogging up that hole. You need 2 outs to go home.
I'm with you, Skipper. Big hole allows Jimmy Rollins to cheat on the fastball and maybe use that hole where a routine ground ball becomes a hit.
No need to be in double play depth here. You must get 1. You want to keep that 3 and 4 hitter out of this game by making sure you get 1 and not giving up a base hit that might just elude the infielder because you're playing too shallow.
Keep the tying run from coming to the plate.
That's a good thought.
3-0. A
Well, now he has to throw at least 2 strikes, or he's going to be facing Shane Victorino as the tying run.
Walks him on 4 pitches. Kimbrel in a jam. The tying run coming to the plate. Load at second. Rollins at first. Victorino will be the batter. Acting pitching coach Dave Wallace on his way to the mound.
Talking with Dave Wallace before the game, he says you can't teach experience, and bringing these 2 young kids, Venter and Kimbrel, into the game in this environment against the Phillies when you're chasing them, this is the experience that they have to go through if you're going to build a championship team with them at the end of the game.
Contenders in the National League East. They have split the first 2 games of the series. The Phillies trying to scratch and claw their way back into this one in the bottom of the 9th. Victorino, the tying run. Slider for a strike. Slider again, swing and a miss, 0-2.
Same situation we saw when Mayberry was at the plate. Young pitcher, do not make a breaking ball up. If you're going to throw it, you better bounce it. It's the only one you can hit for a home run.
On the appeal, he didn't go.
Victorino will not come off a fastball, so when you throw the breaking ball for the strike, you speed up his bat and give him a chance to hit a home run to right field. With the fastball, probably the best he can do without cheating on it is to hit it to center field, the deepest part of the park.
Strike 3 called. And Victorino is livid, feeling that ball was outside. Never one to keep his emotions inside. Victorino letting it out on home plate umpire Wally Bell.
2 breaking balls, a fastball up and then a fastball away, called strike 3. The breaking balls slow him down. 1 for a strike. Now a back footer that he swings over the miss. He goes up the ladder and misses. Victorino a good take, but then he paints the outside corner. K-Zone says it's outside. Agrees with Victorino. Wally Bell rings him up.
What a beef he appeared to have. 2 down as Polanco is the batter now. Now all hope is not lost for the Phillies. You've got one of the game's toughest outs and best clutch hitters at the plate. And then you've got Ryan Howard on deck. But the Phillies are down to their final out. Buckles him, but misses inside, ball 2.
I don't know how he stood on his feet on that ball. He's throwing 96 miles an hour. 1 ball, no strike count. He starts a breaking ball right at his hip, but he takes it, doesn't fall down.
A pop-up, shallow right center field. In comes McLouth, and he'll make the catch to end the game as the Atlanta Braves beat the Philadelphia Phillies 5-2 and take 2 out of 3 in this weekend series. The Phillies had their moments against both Johnny Vetters in the 8th and Craig Kimbrel in the 9th. But the young duo got the job done. Kimbrel getting the save as Atlanta wins 5-2, taking 2 out of 3. Tonight's Chevrolet player of the game is Atlanta first baseman Freddie Freeman, who went 3 for 4, his first major league 3-hit game, and he hit a home run back in the 5th inning, his 4th home run of the season. An entertaining series between these two National League East Division contenders, the Braves and the Phillies, here this weekend, with Atlanta winning tonight 5-2 to take 2 out of 3. Coming up next on ESPN, stay tuned for Sports Center. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Oral Hershiser, Bobby Valentine, Wendy Nixon, and Buster Olney, I'm Dan Shulman saying so long from Philadelphia.